In this episode of Idol Gossip, stars' scintillating stories, bashful bad boys, and just who is Hugh? Time for our regular lesson on what to wear in public. The Fashion Police, with a twist. Recently, stars were asked to think of something other than what they were going to wear. A trifle confusing until it was explained to them they were to design a corset that would then be put up for auction to help raise money for charity. Once the stars realised the focus was off what they would look like, as thankfully they didn't have to model them, the designer and creator came alive in all of them, and just wait till you see the results. Jessica Biel of Seventh Heaven certainly showed her darker side as she lashed out in black sequin satin with glittery spiderweb Avex spider.
I wanted to make something that a woman could actually wear that wasn't too outrageous, that maybe, you could throw it on with like a cute black jacket and you could get away with it. And something simple and kind of darker. We wanted to go the little, I don't know, we're thinking skulls, spiders, what else could we think? And this just seemed to be awesome. So it came out really well.
Obviously not something her on-screen preacher father would consider suitable attire for his saccharine sweet daughter. Taryn Manning's offering looked like a throwback to the hippie days, all peace and love and let it all hang out. A little difficult in a corset, as it's all strapped in. Cyndi Lauper's creation is all the proof we need that girls just want to have fun. And apparently corset-wearing girls consider rolling around in a daisy patch an absolute hoot. We think Tori Amos is the bee's knees, as it looks like the rest of the poor bee went into creating this corset. We don't advise wearing this little number for a stroll through the park. You may find yourself being paid a little too much attention by every hornet, wasp and bee within a 5-mile radius. Susan Sarandon, who has begun to look like she herself could do with a little bit of a lift and separate in the chest department, was proud to announce her design.
And Gina and I did one, Gina Davis, so it's Thelma and Louise. And it's very funny, and it's great, so I hope it turned out well. I haven't seen it since they finished it. But.
With Susan on one side and Gina on the other, their corset certainly had a Thelma and Louise feel to it. I'm sure the price would have skyrocketed if they could have gotten Brad Pitt to show up somewhere in the middle. Scarlett Johansson's corset was next, red and white check. Did she try and do this on the cheap and just convert one of her old tablecloths? The contribution from Diana Ross seems to have purple, white and yellow hair stemming from it. I'd be thinking of shaving this one before wearing it anywhere. You'd be forgiven for thinking that Christmas was just around the corner with this Yuletide creation from Julianne Moore. If your ideal man is fat, has a white beard and a jolly red suit, you're sure to win him over sporting this look. The gathered bidders clapped and cheered. Let's face it, celebs don't often get the chance to actually do anything, and we have to encourage every little effort they make. She may profess to be lowly Jenny from the block, but Diva J-Lo is renowned for her outrageous demands. She recently ordered a staggering 10,000 clothes hangers to be delivered to her mansions in LA and Miami to cope with her enormous wardrobe. Celebrity autobiographies fly off the shelves at an impressive speed, proving that everyone loves a good scandal. Take Katie Price, for instance. The artificially enhanced glamour model created an alter ego purely for publicity. Her name is Jordan. The B-list party girl with a double F chest has graced the pages of the British press in a variety of bound not to make your mother proud poses. When Katie penned her autobiography, Being Jordan, many big names were shaking in their boots in the lead up to its release. The British glamour girl spilled the juicy details of her affairs with a number of high-profile celebrities. Solid gold in the publishing world. With so much hype, the book topped the charts in pre-sales alone. This was mostly thanks to Jordan being deliciously unforgiving of most when it came to the trouser department. Even David Beckham is included in the star-studded lineup after a hand-holding incident in a nightclub. Also in the book, Jordan shares her courtship secrets. Tips such as making her drooling suitors wait a month before indulging in any bedroom antics proves that she is not easy. We continue the search for somebody who is truly convinced. Kylie Minogue has a pictorial biography, which some fans feel is more about the ghostwriter than the Impossible Princess. The coffee table-sized tome titled La 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 was penned by Minogue and one William Baker. Baker discusses Minogue's career as a cultural icon and digresses at times about his own adolescence and fanaticism for Boy George in this photographic fling with the Australian Madonna. The biography presents a light on personal insights and more of an image-driven retrospective on her career. Just when you thought they had gone away for good, ex-Spice Girl Geri Halliwell, aka Ginger Spice, believes that her life is saleable enough to fit into 2 autobiographies. The books, If Only and Just for the Record, were released within 2 years of each other. Having not recorded any noteworthy songs during the break, we wonder what could be so interesting to warrant another life story. Well, this time, it's about the little things in her life. Geri's first kiss, Geri's school lunches, what time her mother got home from work at night, and how her dad liked to spit in the kitchen sink. A must for the Spice fan who has to have everything. Now, Robbie Williams, famous since he was 15, has a juicy story worthy of spilling over into 2 books. And that is exactly what has happened. Robbie released Somebody Someday in 2001 and more recently Angels and Demons. In his second attempt, Robbie talks of his childhood, family relationships and the heady days of Take That. He also reaches out to the bitch in all of us when he is less than kind about his fellow celebrities. Christina Aguilera is blasted for her outrageous dress sense. The rock DJ describes her image as a mixture between a gay clubber and an eco-warrior. Even beauty Cameron Diaz isn't safe. Mr. Williams admitted to having a severe crush on the Something About Mary star until he met her in person. According to the fussy pop singer, Diaz has an oversized mouth and therefore didn't find her as delovely as he first thought. Not to be outdone, Pamela Anderson has produced a novel titled Star, the tale of a young Florida girl who finds herself in Hollywood, learning the ropes of the entertainment industry as she climbs the ladder to fame and gets more than lucky along the way.
I think it's just going to be fun and silly, and I think you get a good sense of me and kind of what I went through, even though it's fiction. It was very revealing.
Although the book isn't meant to be autobiographical, the former Baywatch star admitted that much of the story is based on her own experiences.
Oh yeah, right?
That was
that's what it's based
writing
on.
the book
Yeah,
in the first place.
Yeah, it's silly. It's just a silly, fun little read. I think and it did really well even in America, which I was surprised at because people are a little bit snobbier. No.
The book is steamed up with racy encounters that are dotted throughout, and due to the book's current success, Anderson has already begun work on the sequel. Women all over the world drooled over their pictures and screamed their name till they passed out. But with the passing of the years and gravity setting in, how can aging male stars keep that special memory alive? It seems all it takes is a mountain of cash and a plastic surgeon on speed dial. Some guys just don't want to let go and gracefully step into the next stage of life. They are attempting to beat Father Time with some seriously scary results. Kiss, one of the greatest bands of all time, rocked the world in the 70s and 80s. Paul Stanley has been the first of the boys to reportedly go under the knife. This was after their record sale took a serious dive. Is this why his nose looks so out of joint? Fresh-faced George Michael at one stage had one simple request: wake him up before you go-go. If you had, we are sure he'd have looked surprised and happy. But now, thanks to Botox, he only has that one limited expression. His face is pulled and stretched tight, and unfortunately, he has a permanently frozen, shocked look. Most guys, after losing a woman as magical, mystical and desirable as Angelina Jolie, would try to find something to lift their spirits. Not for old Billy Bob. He looks like he just decided to lift his entire face.
I loved a woman who wasn't clean.
Mrs. Santa?
That was her sister.
He's had his nips tucked, his wrinkles pulled, and a chemical peel thrown in for good measure. His face is now a whole lot tighter than it used to be. Probably a whole lot tighter than when he was 20. But now he can get back to life.
Can we be perfect?
The big lesson to be learned if you do take a trip under the surgeon knife is that subtly is the key, and the time and gravity do catch up with you.
Well, I think in my life you pretty much see what you get. In other words, my life is an open book with illustrations. It was not intended to begin with. I mean, you don't start a magazine with the notion it's going to make you a celebrity, because before Playboy, I don't think there were any examples of that.
When folks mention their diet these days, they are rarely ever just talking generally about what goes into their mouths. They are referring to being on a diet. No such thing as just eating well and regular exercise for these guys. The diet has to have a name, credentials, and a philosophy before celebs will admit to trying them. It's only in fairly recent history that thin is considered beautiful. Plumpness used to be viewed as a sign of health, and health was attractive. Now it seems unless your bones are protruding through your skin, you are likely to be considered tubby. There are a current clutch of diets promising various results. In the image-conscious bubble the celebrities live in, you can almost guarantee their lives are centered around one of these diets. Weight loss is a thriving industry, and new gurus with all the answers are coming out of the woodwork. The more bizarre their recommendations, the more stars seem to want to follow them. The list of diet crazes to strike Hollywood is long. Woody Harrelson only eats raw foods. Alicia Silverstone is a vegan, while Jennifer Lopez eats 8 mini meals a day. Madonna and Gwyneth are 100% macrobiotic, eating sea vegetables, beans and whole grains. All that fibre does make one wonder if they suffer from terrible flatulence. Over the past couple of years, there has been a resurgence of the Atkins diet. Jennifer Aniston and Jerry Halliwell are fans of Dr. Atkins and his carnivorous meal suggestions. The heavy on the meat and cheese, please, reportedly helped Catherine Zeta-Jones shift those post-baby pounds. However, many health risks are associated with this diet. High-protein diets result in lethargy and less blood flow to the brain. Jessica Simpson, step away from the steak. Bill Clinton publicly flirted with the South Beach diet, but ended up having quadruple bypass surgery, so we're not sure that his endorsement lends any credence to the health benefits. The Zone diet is all about percentages, and although it has a catchy title, if you're terrible at maths, stay away. It's the most popular choice with a huge list of celebrities like Winona Ryder, Demi Moore and Kristen Davies. Renee Zellweger set herself a difficult challenge after gaining 20 pounds for Bridget Jones's Diary, but by following the zone, she slimmed down to her former sleek self. Just remember, if you fall off the diet wagon, you can always start again tomorrow. The bad boy image of so many Hollywood actors and recording artists seems to have gone the way of the dodo. Once, it was obligatory for the young men of Tinseltown to cuss at paparazzi, break a camera or two before spitting in the gutter and falling into the backseat of a limo. Now it seems the worst act of the new, dare we say, metrosexual man of downtown LA would be to not invite his mother to at least one red carpet event each year. It just seems all the bad boys have gone soft. Eminem was never one to miss a chance to take a stab at other artists in the boy band mould. While rapping, he has dished the dirt on Ricky Martin, Michael Jackson and many others. But recently announced that he never misses a chance to attend a school event for his 8-year-old daughter Hailey, even admitting during the school's book month, he read aloud to Hailey's class, not only reading one, but 2 books. Sean Penn was once the ultra bad boy, living up to all the prerequisites. Camera breaking, swearing at anyone who got in his way, including fans. He was even jailed for a month in 1987 for assaulting an extra on a movie set. Shocking behaviour. Now he is a politically aware patriot who recently printed an open attacking South Park creators for their un-American and unpatriotic slandering of the nation's image.
All the things he says in the letter are things we had him say in the movie, and we're like, wow, we were totally right. It's great.
It's unbelievable that he takes it personally. Yeah. He's just, I mean, how humorless can you be?
He's such an obviously small-minded egomaniac.
That's just so, you know what it is? It's just unsexy.
Yeah.
Sean Penn is just unsexy.
We need an actor, and they say you're the best.
Now he has a conscience. Will he be running for a political office in the future? They say that prudence is a characteristic of mellowed age. It seems to apply to even the most aging of Hollywood bad boys. Warren Beatty's reputation as a womanizer has never been superseded. With a career that hails back to the Hollywood star system, Warren has had them all. Joan Collins, Natalie Wood, Diane Keaton. His list of loves read like a who's who of Hollywood glory days gone by. But following his long fling with Madonna in the early 90s, he seemed to give up La Vida Promiscuous and settle down to marry Annette Bening.
I cannot speak for my superior half.
Well, it had to happen sometime. Perhaps he took his chiropractor's advice. Perhaps this trend of bad boys turning good is only a reaction to the politically correct 90s, where getting away with it was an option, but not a badge to be worn proudly. We can perhaps look forward to seeing Bart Simpson join the Reverend Lovejoy's ministry in The Simpsons.
Burns, the evil industrialist who makes coal out of babies?
Or Jack Nicholson penning a series of positive-themed children's books. We don't think so.
Probably just a little nervous, said Mother, hopefully.
Gwyneth Paltrow and Coldplay's Chris Martin have been sued by computer giant Apple for naming their daughter Apple Martin. Apple saw the child as a potential market competitor and sued to protect its intellectual property and shareholders' interests. Perhaps fruit growers around the world should sue Apple for a similar reason. Or Gwyneth should rename her little girl something less fruity.
Hello there. Glad you could join us this evening. I'm Hugh Hefner, editor-publisher of Playboy magazine, and your host. And this is Playboy's Penthouse.
Hugh Hefner. Born of humble farming parents from Nebraska, Hugh originally worked on the publishing staff of a magazine called Child Life, a far cry from the raunchy Playboy mag he brought to newsstands in 1953. The first issue showed a nude Marilyn Monroe. A shrewd Hef had purchased the photo long before Marilyn was a star. Men clamoured to buy the magazine, and publication could not keep up with the demand.
The 1950s was a very repressive decade. It was a very conservative decade, politically and socially and sexually. And I think Playboy was, from the outset, a response to that.
Hugh often appears in a silk smoking jacket with a pipe in hand and several blondes on his arm. He appears to have it all. It must be a hard life for poor Hugh living in the magnificent, world-renowned Playboy mansion built for him in 1971. All-night poolside parties are still thrown at the mansion nearly every weekend. And if your name isn't on the guest list, you may as well be dead.
He's a genius, he's a workaholic, he's built an empire of beautiful, classy women.
Actresses and well-known women who wouldn't dare be caught without their shorts seem to be honoured to be asked to appear in Playboy.
If I wasn't a bunny, I would have never had a show business career, because you take that little bit of kind of whatever you had going and it kind of launches into something else.
It's a real status symbol, something they are happy to add to their resume. Many believe it's because although the shots are naked and leave little to the imagination, the women are treated with respect during and after the photo shoot, rather than just bodies to be ogled at. Keeping up with technology and having the brains to know what men wanted even before they did, Hugh branched out, including a Playboy Bunny website, games and merchandising. The Playboy Bunny, a bunny because we all know that rabbits like to, well, fornicate a lot, soon became a classy symbol, adorning everything from key rings and coffee cups to mink rugs and designer jewellery. Where there's money to be made, Hef and the Bunnies are ready, steady, go.
Wish me luck.
Still sold in sealed wrap and posted in plain brown wrapping to the homes of millions of men worldwide, Playboy and Hugh himself have distanced themselves from other trashy, flashy tabloids that essentially show the same nudes. It all reflects back to the man himself, Hugh Hefner. He adores women and respects them and insists that they be shown as beautiful creatures to be admired. It almost sounds wholesome, till you take into consideration that he has as many as 3 different girlfriends at the same time, 3 utterly beautiful young lovelies who share his mansion and his bed. Nothing quite so wholesome as Hef would have you believe.
Well, I would like to think that the magazine and my life have had some significant influence in changing social sexual values and making us feel a little better about ourselves. That certainly has been the intention in terms of the magazine, and I think it's certainly what my life has been all about. I think that you can live your life with a little style, that life should be a celebration.
When asked if blondes have more fun, he replied, "They do with me."